All right, so this might be the 20th update on the rear Arduino design, but I'm super close to finishing. So I've got a CAD model of most everything so far. I've got to design a lid and a few other bits before I get parts 3D printed and then assemble and do all the final wiring and soldering. So what I've got in this rear setup is I've got a Arduino Mega shield board that has yet to be populated. A lot of just open space on it at the moment, but in short order she'll be populated. And then on top of that is a Seed Studio V2 CAN shield to handle all the CAN bus communication. I've got this 4 relay board. So these are mechanical relays or electromechanical relays that handle relatively high current, and I'm only going to be leveraging one to power or to turn on and off the oil scavenge pump for the turbo. The other 3 will be available for additional purposes. I've got this unit from Monarch Instrument, and this guy will handle all of the processing of the turbo speed sensor. So I've taken the base off of him, and he will screw using these 2 screws to the lid and essentially pivot in and out of the housing with the corresponding wires. So this handles turbo speed sensor processing and feeds that information to the Arduino. I've got this guy, which is a Spartan OEM or OE from 14.7. So it's a wideband oxygen sensor controller. And this guy will be controlling a single wideband at the rear of the car, and then again feeding that same that info to the Arduino. And then up here I've got my little, it's a prototype board, but what I have on it is a H-bridge controller. So this will control the electric bypass valve for the e-boosters, which is a repurposed electronic throttle body. This unit up here is a Type K thermocouple adapter. So it essentially, these are the wires that will feed in from the Type K thermocouple. I have a little plug that will be in the box. And this converts that thermocouple info and sends that via I2C, which is one of the communication methods or protocols that the Arduino can work with very well. So this is the little box or unit that will allow my Arduino to read the Type K thermocouple, which will read EGT at the rear of the car, so right before the exhaust gas enters the turbo. And then I've added 4 MOSFETs here. These MOSFETs, 2 of them will be unused for the moment, but I'll have them to use for future purposes. 2 of them will be used for pneumatic valves. So one will be the boost pressure control valve, which will feed boost pressure to the wastegate and control boost. The other one will control the exhaust valve, so open up or close the exhaust valve and make the car loud or quiet. And then I've got these connectors. These are Molex connectors. They're nice because they can handle, each terminal can handle a good bit of current. They're simple, rather inexpensive, but since all of this will be inside the car, there's no need for any kind of weather sealing. And I've got a 24-pin and an 18-pin connectors so that I can't plug the wrong connector, mix up the connectors. This is also a little 5-volt, 2-amp 5-volt power supply that will also be incorporated into the Arduino shield board. And this will provide all the 5-volt power to the Arduino, to all the 5-volt sensors, etc. So I'll just be integrating him in there. That's from Pololu. That's what that guy is. Yeah, 3.2 amp peak. 2 amp continuous, I think. And then this is the factory satellite XM satellite radio tray that I've already cut out for the previous setup, but effectively I'll be using this, just the face of this, in the assembly. So all the parts I just showed you, with the exception of the Monarch, with the exception of this guy, I still have to model him, pretty simple. But this is the current layout. So the Arduino Mega, the shield board, and the Seed Studio CAN bus shield will stack essentially vertically in this box. That's the 4 relay board. Here's my little prototype board with the 4 MOSFETs, the H-bridge controller, and the Type K thermocouple adapter. Here is the 14.7 Spartan 2 OE unit. And then this black box over here is 6 DIL blocks modules. So these modules, there are actually 6 squares that make up this rectangle, and those will house large relays and fuses for all of the circuits that I've added to the car. And then you can see here, these are the, let's say, connectors for the box. So the 2 Molex connectors on the inside of the box, and then the Type K thermocouple. So on the back side, that's essentially what the back side of the box will look like. 2 connectors that will feed in along with the Type K thermocouple, and all of that will provide the main power to the relays and the fuses, all of the logic, so sensors in and sensors out. I think I have something like 20 sensors pumping info into the Arduino, and then the CAN bus from the Seed Studio unit will be pumping CAN data out to the rest of the vehicle, also through this connector. So excited here. This box is what I'll have 3D printed, and I'll make it so that the factory faceplate bolts up nicely, or secures nicely, and slides in just like the factory unit does. There will be a top as well, a top cover, and that's where I'm at. So get this done this weekend, the design, get it 3D printed hopefully this coming week, and I'll start to bolt together or assemble and wire up this full assembly and get it installed in the car. I'm excited.